Hi, fans of high-quality entertainment. As some of you know, I've become a bigger fan of George Harrison lately. I've always, of course, loved him in the Beatles, and I did really like his solo career, not as much as John and Paul's, but I had some interest in it. And I would say, until recently, my favorite solo album of his was 33 1/3. So I'll show you what I have of him. I have his self-titled, which I've heard in the past. I think I bought it on vinyl, and now I have it on CD. I enjoyed this. It was very good. And I have this, 33 1/3, which I really like, although it's not my favorite anymore. And this is the 2014 remaster of All Things Must Pass. And as I've told my viewers recently, and I don't know, maybe it's, I love my new headphones, so they make every album sound so much better. But I finally got this. Every song. And my history with George Harrison, I don't think, when his, when this album came out in 1970, I couldn't afford it. One of my older brothers bought it, so it was his. And of my two older brothers, one of them didn't care if he played his records, and the other one, it's like you can't even look at his records. And of course, he was the one that had All Things Must Pass. I do remember the 45 for My Sweet Lord and Isn't It a Pity? And thinking back on that almost had the same kind of excitement and vibe as a new Beatles song. So I loved My Sweet Lord and Isn't It a Pity? But the whole album, for many years, I never totally got into because I didn't buy it myself, right? I heard it off in the distance when my brother was playing it. So I didn't really totally connect with it until recently. And, through the years, I have had this on vinyl and CD, but I didn't really play it that much. I knew it was a lot of people's favorite or second favorite Beatles solo album for a good reason. But like I said, I don't think I gave it enough of a chance to really listen to all of it. And now I love it. I do want to make a separate review of this and maybe rank the songs. And I also just want to say, I know a lot of fans of this album do not care for the Apple Jam. I think it's great for what it is. Seriously, I enjoyed it. They're just jamming. They're having fun. I do think it was maybe a mistake to release it with this, even as a bonus. I don't know how they could have worked it, but it is kind of, it would have been better if this was a double album for sure, and then somehow keep the Apple Jam separate so the fans aren't bitching and whining. But just for me personally, I really do enjoy the Apple Jam. There's a lot of great playing on it, and they're having fun. And I bought this when it came out, the 50th anniversary edition. I tried, right? Still trying to get into this album as much as other fans are into it. And I did enjoy it. But once again, I played it once or twice, and then it just sat in my CD collection. I ended up selling it. But I ended up rebuying it because I love this so much. I was listening to the remix on Spotify, and the original, the Phil Spector production and everything, I like it. Overall, I really did, enjoy this 2014 remaster. But I think this is even better, the remix. even just hearing it on Spotify recently. So this will be I think this will be my go-to overall. Okay, so open it. Just like in the 2014 edition, it comes with the poster and the lyrics. And I want to talk about one more album. I'm not done yet. It's really nice gatefold. Now, going back to this for a second, the 2014, I'm very happy with this, the remaster and everything. The only thing I don't like about it is at the end of, the sides 1 and 2 of All Things Must Pass for CD 1, they stick on bonus tracks at the end of CD 1. And then on CD 2, it starts with Beware of Darkness, side 3 of the original album. But at the end, they stick on, the Apple Jam, which is fine, but it's not in the correct order of the original, which is which I don't like. But they correct it on this one. It's just the original album in the proper track listing. So yeah. Through the years, the songs I really knew well were, side 1, which I've always loved. I'd Have You Anytime, My Sweet Lord, Wah Wah, Isn't It a Pity? What Is Life, of course, it was great. If Not For You, I liked. But after that, I just didn't know, Apple Scruffs, of course I knew, Beware of Darkness, All Things Must Pass, the song. But some of it I didn't really know as well as I thought I did. Art of Dying, Isn't It a Pity version 2, Hear Me Lord. And I'll just say that all of the songs connected with me. And yes, I had tears listening to this album more than once. And it's heavy, it's heavier than I realized it was. Some of the songs like Hear Me Lord and Art of Dying, they rock. They're really good. So yeah, this is, I still think Paul McCartney's Ram is my all-time favorite Beatles solo album. But I'm starting to think this could even replace it, or at least be in number 2. And then 3 would be probably Plastic Ono Band by John Lennon. But now, in my excitement of doing the video you're watching, I forgot to talk about living in the material world. This was an album that I really did not know very well. Of course, I had heard it throughout the years a little bit, but I don't think I ever sat down and listened to it from start to finish. And this is the remix, deluxe version. And even on the very first listen, I really liked it a lot. And I played it a second time, and I even appreciated it more. Now, is it as good as All Things Must Pass? All Things Must Pass is going to be, a difficult record to top. But I think this was an excellent follow-up, and it did sell well at the time. It's kind of, in some ways, I think, been forgotten how much of a success this album was when it was released. And I really, really love this album. It might be, I might even like it more than 33 1/3, but I'm still getting to know the album. But it's, when you think of it, as much of a Beatles fan as I am, and of, the four members, there's certain albums that I've just kind of let go and not really listened to until recently. And so, you just become a fan of albums that are over, 50 years old. And it's kind of amazing the way it all kind of works out. And his vocals on this, I think his vocals on All Things Must Pass and this album are the best vocals I think he ever did in his whole career. So, love this. And that's it. I would love your thoughts on everything I've talked about here in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. Please remember to like the video. And I wonder how many times I said, in this video. I didn't even think about that. I just recently did a video on that, Bye.